So a while back, me and my sister were having a conversation, and she told me that I am weirdly calm. Like when people are getting on my nerves, when situations are happening, when things aren't going to plan, I am weirdly calm. And I asked her to describe what she meant by that. And it really came down to her being shocked by how I don't ever get that upset. Like, I can seem annoyed, but nothing really deeply upsets me. And that we're going to talk about today. Because it's not that I don't get mad. I do. It's not that I don't get upset or annoyed or sad. I do. I feel all ranges of human emotion. Probably to a higher extent than most people, actually. But I understand my triggers. I understand what takes me over that edge. And because I know what can take me over that edge, I avoid it. That could be people, that could be certain places, certain things. And with that out the way, time to get to my intro. My name is Lawrencecharris, for those of you who don't know. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. I spent the last 4 years specializing in helping teen and young adults build self-love, confidence, and overall a positive outlook on life. In addition to speaking, written books on it, you can find that below. If you're a podcast host, school principal, or you have a youth-focused organization, you can find my email address below to contact me for speaking engagements and interviews. And lastly, if you would like to have a one-on-one call with me where you'll get some advice or just generally a more clear understanding on your goals and what it is that you want to talk to me about, you can find that in the description below as well. Now, triggers. We hear this word thrown around all the time. I'm feeling triggered. I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm mad. But why? Why are you sad? What is it that makes you feel this emotion? A good trigger is something that makes you happy. Like maybe you're talking to your girlfriend and you get really, really happy. Maybe you get paid and now you're feeling really happy because you just got some money. I get happy when I make some money. Buy my books below. Maybe you're sad because your car got a flat tire. Maybe you're mad because somebody stepped on your shoe. These are normal things. These are triggers. These are examples of that. For me, something that often makes me feel really upset and triggered is whenever someone touches my hair. I don't like that. Don't touch it. So because of that, whenever I meet somebody new and maybe they're like, wow, I love your hair, or they might want to touch it, I tell them, don't touch my hair. And they're like, okay, I respect that. Because in some cultures and some families, it's a very normal thing for you to just like touch somebody's hair. Some cultures and families, it's a normal thing as a greeting for you to give somebody a kiss on the cheek, or a hug, or a handshake, or a high five. The way that you were raised and the way that you live isn't the same for everybody. So things that are common sense to you, we don't do that, are not to other people. For example, if you go somewhere in, let's just say, China, there are certain cultural behaviors that to them are very normal, but are very odd to us, and vice versa. So when you understand what makes you feel triggered, what makes you feel upset, you're able to tell that to people, and that way, there is no misunderstanding, because I didn't know that thing made you upset. I didn't know saying a joke like that makes you upset. Thank you for letting me know so I can, be more respectful of your boundaries. Because certain jokes that men have and will say to each other, like you and your best friend have things that you'll say to each other and y'all just playing around. You understand that he not actually making fun of your mom, or he not actually making fun of your family, y'all just cracking jokes. But other people, they don't joke like that. So the first time somebody does something that makes you upset or feel triggered, they might not know that thing makes you upset and triggered because it's normal to them to joke like that and act like that and do those behaviors with their friends and their family and the people they're around. So when they meet you, they're bringing their experiences and what's normal to them into your life. And you're bringing what is normal to you into theirs. So there's a lot of room for miscommunication. So when someone does something that makes you upset, maybe your friend made a joke about you that is normal to him to make with his family and the friends that he has, but you don't like that. Tell him. You gotta voice your boundaries. Because boundaries, we hear that word too. We hear people say things like, I have boundaries, I have boundary issues, I have this, I have that. But very rarely do we address what they truly are. Boundaries are meant to protect you. Boundaries are what you're comfortable with and what you allow. So, if you meet somebody and they love giving hugs, like they love to hug people, babies are like this. A lot of times, little kids will just run up to you, like they'll run up to strangers and give them a hug. That's a very normal thing for a baby to do. But when someone doesn't want to be hugged, rather than them like yelling at the baby and saying, why did you do that? Why did you hug me? And getting mad at the baby, it's a lot more, what's the word for this? It's a lot more effective to tell the baby, tell the 2-year-old, you can't hug people who you don't know. You have to ask people before you hug them. That's a lot more effective than yelling at a baby to not hug you. I understand you feel triggered and upset when people do things that makes you feel like your boundaries are being crossed, but some people genuinely don't know that's a boundary you have. Some people genuinely are so normal and used to their way with their friends and their family that when they meet you, you need to explicitly tell them, I don't want people to hug me without asking. I don't want people to say this about me. I don't want people to do this. Because, yes, there's certain things, like if somebody punches you or they are violent or saying like deeply hurtful things about you, that's something where you can just like completely remove the person. Like, that's a one-strike policy. But something like giving you a hug, giving you a high five, a handshake, a playful joke, that's something where you tell them, I don't like when people say this, so do not say this about me. You don't yell at them and say, don't say that about me, don't do this. No, you respectfully and as a mature individual, tell them what you are and are not comfortable with. Because this thing makes you upset. And you don't have to give them a full 10-page explanation on, oh, when I was 5 years old and this and that. You don't gotta get into the whole details. No, you just gotta let them know, I don't like when people touch me. I don't like when people say this about me. I don't like when people do this. Because a lot of the issues that teens and young adults face can be solved if we became better at communicating our boundaries and understanding the thing that trigger us. You know, you need to look inside of yourself and realize like, okay, why do I get so upset or sad when this thing happens? You know, what is it that really is going on underneath the surface? Because when we're operating from the surface level and we don't look deeper and we don't look into, okay, I'm feeling upset, but why? Oh, I'm feeling upset because this person said this thing about me. Okay, maybe they insulted how you look. Like they said, oh, you're ugly. Now, what is it in you that feels triggered when someone calls you ugly? Oh, it's very easy, plain and simple. You don't like when people say you're unattractive because it starts to make you feel insecure of yourself. That's not to put you down or say that, oh, you have a weak sense of self. No, it's simply to say, you do not like when people insult you, because when you feel insulted, your pride and your ego and your emotions feel hurt. That is a normal human reaction. That is a normal feeling. None of us need to be walking around here like no Buddhist monks, I'm telling you, because I sure ain't one. Whenever somebody says something that makes me mad or makes me upset or however, I just up and leave the conversation. Because I know that there is a point where when I'm triggered and upset to a certain extent, it's hard to get me there, but it is possible. I know once I get to that point, I'm just going off on you. So instead what I do is I let you know, don't say that about me. Don't do that behavior. And if you continue to do the behavior, I remove you from my life. I will simply leave the conversation. Okay? Because once you tell somebody that this thing makes you feel bad, this thing makes you feel really upset, this thing makes you feel hurt, and they repeatedly continue to do said thing, remove them or remove yourself from the situation. Now, if you live with the person, it can be a bit harder. However, you don't have to speak to them 24/7. You're able to love them from a distance. You're able to keep space between you two. And I know this video was short. Well, on average, my videos go from like 10 to 20 minutes. So this one isn't actually that short. But I do want to close out with this. Your boundaries matter. Communicate with people. Let them know how you're feeling. Let them know when they cross a certain line that you have. And once they understand and you tell them that I don't like when people say this or do this to me, it's a lot easier for them to correct the behavior that they did that upsetted you without knowing it would upset you. Because, like I said earlier, in some cultures and some families and some upbringings, it's a very normal thing to give people a kiss on the cheek, whether it's two men, two women, a man, a woman. It's just a normal thing in that culture. It's not like even a romantic gesture. It's simply this is how we communicate with each other. In some cultures, it's normal to pull people's ear. In some cultures, it's normal to make certain jokes about each other. In some cultures, it's normal to act certain ways, do certain things, whereas it can be a trigger and upset people of a different group. So when you understand your triggers, you understand what makes you feel upset, you can communicate with people in a respectful and positive, in a respectful and effective, effective is a much better word for this. You can communicate with them in a respectful and effective manner on what you are and are not comfortable with. That way, you can have better friendships, relationships, family dynamics, jobs. It applies to everything in life. Because when you communicate how you feel and what somebody did and you provide a solution, everyone is able to feel better, live better, and create a better environment amongst each other. And on that note, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. If you're interested in purchasing my books, links below, podcast interviews, or bringing me in for speaking engagements at your community, whether that be a school, organization, etc., email address in the description. And lastly, if you would just happen to like to donate to me, support me, you can find my Cash App below. Have a wonderful, blessed day.